Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's Q&A session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer. I still can't get the finger right first time. Do check out ODYS if you're interested in age domains or done-for-you affiliate websites. They can sort you out with all of that good stuff. But today, we're back answering your questions, and we already have Randy Roday, Adam Poland, Allah, Mr. Paul Hogden with his dodgy shirt on. And let us know what questions you want answered. We will answer as many as we can in the next hour. And try and give us as much as you possibly can. And Madge, I will get in touch with you tomorrow. I have had a crazy day. Again, I just keep having crazy days where everything fucking breaks. And Craig Mullins, stay safe in that fire, dude. Always on fire over there, man. Not good. And Mr. Paul, leave his shirt out of it. What do you think of Paul's shirt, Chris, first?
To be honest with you, it reminds me of my old man because he likes those kind of shirts, those like plaid shirts. I don't know. I just think I want to say like old head style. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just, I don't know. It's all right.
He wears braces with it as well. He wears braces. Seriously, wears braces. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, whatever, man. Rock out, dude.
Sorry, Paul. Adam Poland loves your shirt. And Andy Woolley is here. Andy, long time no see. How is everything with you, mate? Holly Stark also has an Ask Me Anything at 1 p.m.
Cool.
So if you need some more content, Holly is very much one that you want to pick her brains when she does it. So after this, you can head off over there if you've got more free time and check out what Holly has to say over there. But first question, Chris Soren Wind, regarding to local SEO, does citations only affect the GMB listing, or does it also help your SERP ranks?
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit of both, right? You are building name, address, phone number, so digital references back to the business. I think this is a trust signal for both GMB and also the website, because you are building out links back to your site or internal pages. So it's the link piece plus your name, address, phone number in multiple areas that are coming back to your site. That's helpful. And then also the amount of digital references, it's called prominence. Google likes that for the GMB. I think it's one of the signals. So I think it's good for both.
The prominence API or the prominence portion, is very important. And a lot of people don't understand that side of it. But yeah, I think they help both, in my opinion, as well. Citations are not really going to put you to the page one, position one, but it's all part of the process and something that you should just get done, and it will help build your domain metrics up and everything else that goes to building your rankings up alongside the prominence and everything else that citations do for you on a GMB level.
Speaking of, I saw you doing a video with a gentleman the other day, Bradley Bennett, and I saw his tool, and I remember one piece of it, and somebody was asking, like, why would I put references of another business on the page? I was laughing to myself, like, I actually really like that. I'll even go so far as building out orphan pages. I call them verse pages, like us verse them, because the number one search term for your competitor is their brand name. So siphoning any traffic is, always good. I enjoyed that video. I was enjoying watching that the other day.
I think also it's, we give out information, and it's what you do with that information. Now, obviously with that plugin, for example, and I'll say it again, and I think I said it at the time, if, for example, I ranked for the Marriott Hotel Las Vegas, if there is such a thing, and I might want to have other things on there, like restaurants, near that, in Las Vegas, or things to do in Las Vegas, or cinemas in Las Vegas or whatever, you can use that plugin to pull in the most prominent positions or the most prominent cinemas, restaurants, whatever it may be, and list them in your website, which in turn is, you get what I'm saying, Chris.
Yes.
You're massaging the whole situation there, and it's not about linking out to your thing. You're adding value to your customers as well, because when people do, let me just change my mic to here. Just been told I've got a bit of echo going on, but I think it was me. But yeah, so you're also helping your user with that as well. Plus, you are doing that whole prominence thing. So why wouldn't you want to do that? Would be my question. So hopefully that helps you. And thank you very much to Success for the kind words here. We appreciate it. Here is one we get asked a lot. Piyush, very curious question. Does anybody have proof of affiliate marketeers earning millions of pounds? Now, Chris, do you think it's a myth, or do affiliate marketers make a lot of money?
I don't think it's a myth. I personally haven't seen anybody make millions, but definitely have seen very successful, very, very successful campaigns. I have one pretty successful campaign. I've seen a lot of others that are way more successful than myself, but I've never saw anybody say, hey, look what I did. This year we did 10 million or something. I personally haven't seen this. I'm sure it's definitely out there for sure. For sure.
Definitely is out there. I don't think people want to post proof for a number of different reasons. People can share screenshots of analytics and this, that, and the next thing. Do they have to prove it? Absolutely not. If you've got the right content, you've got the right volume, you've got the right everything, you can make millions of pounds. And I can categorically state I have seen many, many high-end affiliate marketers do very, very good sums of money. And most of them, the high-end ones, are millionaires. There's a lot of bullshitters out there as well who massively inflate the figures and everything else. But if done properly, can it be done at scale? 100%, 100%. I've done loads of talks on it and shown different graphics and screenshots and everything else, and shown you can scale from here to there. But gearhungry.com was someone a few years back who literally made millions on millions of pounds using Amazon affiliate marketing. So gearhungry.com, the website fell off a cliff, but that is one bit of proof for you. The website's dead now, but it was making millions. They just done it too aggressively, didn't have all the boxes ticked, and when an update came out, boom, it tanked. So that is proof alone that there is millions to be made, but you need to have the right systems, processes, and everything else in place, and you will do fine. So there you go.
Sure. It's out there.
Simon is here. Hello from sunny Yorkshire.
Hey, Simon.
Good to see you, Simon. Appreciate you coming again, as always. And Piyush, I know one or two. To right. Andy Woolley, 8 to 12 hour days, but seeing results. Hats off to these guys for giving great advice. That's helped immensely. Appreciate it. And Holly starts has seen Diggity make 6 figures a month on one product for affiliate. It is definitely doable, Holly, as you have probably seen. Diggity will show people maybe in person or whatever. I'm pretty sure he is very reluctant on stage to drop URLs purely because people give you grief for it, do negative SEO attacks and all that kind of crap. So yeah, people are reluctant publicly to share that, but believe you me, people make a lot of money doing that. So there you go. Success. Favorite part of the day, stalking Chris's backlink profile. Hey, yeah.
I mean, depends on how you're looking.
Yeah. Are you looking deep enough? Do you know how to really reverse engineer someone's backlink profile? Are you looking at the backlinks to the backlinks and all that kind of stuff?
You're finding what I'm showing.
Yeah. But it's always good to reverse engineer, Chris, I'm sure. So that's it. And Andy Woolley is also a Diggity fan. Diggity talks with so much knowledge that it is its own credibility, regardless of the money amounts. It's not about how much money, anyone can make decent figures of money if they've got the right process and invest the right amount of money in it.
For sure.
Sadly, loads of affiliate marketers fall down because of lack of investment, time, effort, or knowledge, or all of that. So, yeah. And I don't tend to talk figures either, Holly. I'm like you. Just heard him talking about it with Empire Flippers. I'm not the type of guy to sit there and say, oh, I earn this or I earn that. It's not what it's all about. Some things are best to remain silent. I'm quite happy to keep that kind of stuff to myself. I just like to see people being successful and filling their boots with as much money as they can possibly make. But yes, Piyush, do check out some of those guys. Matt Diggity being one, very well-known affiliate marketer. Matthew Woodward, again, I don't know if he still has it, actually, Matthew Woodward. But when I was, running my agency, Matthew Woodward was the guy I looked to. And he was doing some real good money. And he documented his affiliate figures and stuff like that, which I found quite interesting. And, I think he was doing 25, 30, 40, 50K a month over, a prolonged period of years and documented it for years and years and years. So he also made money and documented where that money was coming from. He had loads of affiliates. So you would say things like, I made $700 from SEMrush. I made £1,200 from that hosting company. I made £1,800 because I had an email marketing campaign that went out and sold this tool and so on. And and Matthew, I don't know if he's still got that on his website. I haven't looked in a while, but he did have his monthly income, and people used to be waiting at the end of the month. Want to see what he made this month?
How do you do? Yeah.
Just when this guy was traveling the world as well, he was traveling around, and it was very, very inspirational from my point of view. And I was very, very jealous sitting doing bitchy client work and going, I need to do more of this shit. And then I did have questions in my head like, are these people making this shit up? But trust me, Piyush, it does work. Yes, Andy Woolley, it's not just about money. Satisfaction, achievement are just as important. But also, just building a lifestyle business. You might only want to work part-time. Doing this to give yourself more freedom or time with the family and all of that kind of stuff. It's not all about money. It'd be building a lifestyle for yourself. So, great way to look at it. And Chris, do you have a large drinking jug this week?
Not today. I've reverted to the small little bottles here. Got the Deer Park, my go-to spring. A little bit of this going on, and this one.
Oh, come on, Chris. What a guy, yeah. And is the tobacco there as well, just to chew on?
Of course.
Honestly. But Holly is asking, Chris, where is the best place to sell adult and gambling links? Black Hat World, or have you seen success elsewhere? Because you sold on Black Hat World before, am I right, Chris?
I have. I never got into gambling and or adult. That's not really what I was aiming for. So I wouldn't be the best to ask for those two very specific niches, unless, I'm not the guy to ask for those two. I'm sorry.
I think it's a hard one, Holly. But I don't think it would take too long for word to get around if you were going to be selling that, whether you put it in the proper PBN group, whether you put that or proper SEO group, as it's called now, and just put word around. People are looking for gambling links, and I know guys like Matthew Booth, who's in the UK. He only sells gambling links. He's really niched down on that because they're so hard to get. He's basically, focused fully on that. So I think his strategy was he just made it quite clear to everyone that he was the go-to guy to buy some gambling links in the UK, and that's it. I don't know if there's a best place to advertise as such, but there you go.
Black Hat's a good place though to start because a lot of people go there. They get a lot of visits. I think the key there, what we found was, pay the. Well, I'm sure you know this. I would pay the $100 to get a really, really good photo done. Make it really, because I've tried just the text before and not so much, but if you get a really nice listing, those do very well, very, very well.
Definitely. And Ryan, no, I just moved my mic to right above my head because someone was complaining that it was echoing. So yeah, I had it like away over there and it was like echoing like hell. I don't know why, but nah, I just moved it, mate. Still the same old mic. But
what kind of mic do you have?
It's a Rodecaster Pro thing.
Oh, okay, Procaster. Okay.
I used to have the little desktop
Snowball
mic, and it just gets in my way. Like as I showed you earlier, I've got a kind of different setup here that I'm sorting out, so I can't really afford to have mics and shit on the desk. So I've had that for a few months though. No, maybe about 6-9 months, something like that.
You like the Rhodes? You like the Rode?
Yeah, Rode's the best. Like I've tried a whole bunch of different ones in the past, and Rode's always just been solid, good, crisp sound. So
yep,
I think
I like the NT1. I've used that before. It works very well. If I was going to go Rode, I'd go NT1. I like the Shure. Shure makes a good product too.
Yeah, I've actually got before when I was doing podcasts, I always had this idea that I was going to walk around with a little podcast recording. Can't remember what you call them again. The little fucking tape recorder thing, the voice recorder. I had that, and I had a couple of the Shure mics, and they were solid, man. Like the how clean it was insane. But then I decided just to do podcasts on StreamYard and just use this setup. The job was when I was out at conferences and stuff, I would just grab a few of the guys that I liked at the conference, whether it was a speaker or whether it was a dude in the bar. I was just going to be like, come on over here and we'll chat some shit. And do it like while we were having a few beers, and as long as they were open to it. And that was the whole plan with the podcast, and then COVID hit, and yeah, had to revert to the online version of doing podcasts. So yeah, it is what it is though. But that's a long-winded story to tell you. It's the old mate. But guys, do keep your questions coming. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Also, do check his channel out. Puts up some good stuff now and again.
Yeah, here and there.
He tries his best.
I do. You can't hit every time.
Nah.
I do what I can.
Randy Roday and Paul Hogton are loving the mics. And yeah, the Andy, that Rode mic that I showed you is a good solid one, and I've still got it there just as a backup. And yeah, Rode, I know that people say, oh, it's not that much more expensive than some of the other ones, so yeah, it's all good. But more questions, guys, keep the questions coming. But Chris, while we're waiting, questions coming, I'm going to just dive in and ask you, well, Holly's asking, are you going to Greensboro? You are.
I am.
Yes, he is. And he's also going to the other one in November, the Rockstars one, am I right?
Yep, I'm going to go to Rockstars in Vegas, and then I'll go to Greensboro. I was planning on going to the UK, but not so much for the COVID stuff going on. I don't know how that's going to rock.
Well, Paul Hogton was going to speak to you later today. Obviously, I think your chances of getting here are probably slim to none.
Right.
But obviously, I think for the event, Paul still wants you to speak, from where you are, and having a talk at it, which will be the only one that we're doing that you'll be live streaming. We've basically tried to get a whole bunch of UK speakers, and you will be the only one that's live streaming in. So I think that is the plan of action. But Paul can talk to you about that.
Okay.
But Holly hasn't forgot. She still owes you a headlock from last
Me?
week.
What did I do?
I ain't getting involved, man. Holly scares me, man. You keep that shit to yourself. But yeah,
Maybe the press release stuff. I think. Yeah.
Pick up the Rodecaster Pro 2. It's a great mixing board. I did have it, Randy, and I just couldn't be arsed learning how to work it. I'm going to be honest. Fuck that shit, man. We've got enough to fucking play with without a fucking Rodecaster Pro. But I did buy one, and actually my business partner's borrowed it just now because he's into music and does shit. And I don't know if he's doing a podcast or something, but yeah, gave it to him. Anyway, all-purpose work. How to index domain 301 redirect backlinks.
So those, is that a forced thing? Generally those are going to get picked up over the course of time. You'll even see them come up in the tools after a course of time. I think time is probably your best bet. I mean, you can utilize, I would just issue the 301 from HTA on the pages that matter. And then I would just let time develop and you will get credit. It might take you longer than you're thinking, but it will happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be forcing that at all. It should happen naturally. And Rockstars Holly, he will be there. And
yeah, I'm excited.
We've got Andy Woolley asking you a question. Do you do any short videos and the very long ones? And how did they fare in YouTube? Long or short? What do you think's working well at the moment?
I think the mixture. I do a mixture. I like long. I like short. I don't really like the super short ones. I don't think that it's not the right demographic for me because I do educational, right? So doing those short bursts, I just don't like it personally. They don't hit the right number. I don't know. I tried it out. It's not for me. I like between the 8 hour and I like the 8 minute to an hour range, so 8 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that vicinity, because I've tried the real long ones. They don't perform that well. I like between 8 and an hour is probably the sweet spot, somewhere in that vicinity for me.
Interesting. Ryan Durrani's got a question. A rogue subdomains with thousands of pages cluttering the index. Do I smash them with no index, or should I block them with robots? What is the cleaner approach?
Subdomains, you have 1,000 that are cluttering the index. Do I smash them with no index? Follow-up question. Okay. So you've created them?
But yeah, well, I think he's probably inherited this. But he's also got a follow-up here. He knows the no index removes the index, robots, block crawlers, but which is cleaner in your opinion if you were going to do that?
I think that which one did you do already? I'm assuming that you've already took forward in this. I think I would just probably block them. I think that would be the easiest, fastest thing.
But so I'll give you a scenario here. Sometimes when you block them, doesn't mean that they're going to take them out the index. Sometimes some of them stick in the index. So what I always tend to do with that, just for a nice clean approach, is 410 them for a while, and then do the no index. So that's my clean approach, because several times with websites with thousands of shit and cluttering up the index, and I've no followed stuff or no index stuff, sorry, then some of the stuff's still stuck in the index and it never goes. It's sat there. You wait months and months and months. Just stick a 410 on there and it will drop very, very quickly, and then do that. I just think that stuff can get jammed in the index, and that's a bit of a problem. So that would be my advice. But Chris,
no, I guess that's. I was thinking no index, but you raise a big the big problem is it still sticks around. So that sounds like a good of a way to do it as any. I can't go against that. I was thinking, hey, no index them, but hey, that sounds like a good solution to me. I'm going to go with what you said.
Yeah, cool. Shadnan is asking, how long does it take for a new website to rank on Google? Very generic question, but Chris, what's your best advice for someone who asked that question?
So it could be instantly to months. It really depends on what you're aiming for and who's currently above you. Like if you're trying to rank for, I don't know, a HostGator discount code, that might take you a couple months. If you're trying to rank for, I don't know, best plumbing tools for beginners, that might not take as long. I don't know. So it depends on the keyword. It is really, there's no definitive answer for that, my friend.
It depends. Adam Poland, hopefully that's going to be the new fight, because I'm not likely to get to Greensboro because America's just not letting people from the UK in. So that means I can't beat Brad up. So you guys, you and Holly could take the stage or the ring and have that fight going on.
I had all my fights. I'm good with the fighting. I'll watch. I've had enough. I'm good.
And it was your guest post versus press release question, Chris. That's what angered Holly. So
I like them both. A good mixture. For sure.
Soren Wind is asking, when an expired domain begins to lose indexing, does the links to the domains getting de-indexed lose the juice and the overall domain name?
Well, I think they stick around for a little while, but eventually, yeah, they're going to fall off.
That is why, Soren, when you grab, if Chris is going to grab an expired domain name or me, we repurpose that with the exact same URLs to try and fire up the link just coming back to the website. That's the whole purpose of that. So I personally would imagine that, the reverse of that, stuff dropping out of the index. Of course, it's going to lose the juice. There's no value getting past at all. So, yeah, I would have to say that stuff not in the index is not passing. Well, people will argue that stuff not in the index, it might still pass value, but as far as I'm concerned, overall, when stuff's not in the index, I've got a problem and it needs to be back in the index. So good practice to make sure that stuff stays in the index and you will get the juice and everything else from that. All-purpose work. Are .gov backlinks the most powerful ones than any other backlinks?
No.
Not sure. I'm not sure what forum you've been reading their all-purpose work, but that used to be the chat like a good 9-10 years ago. Everyone was obsessed with .gov domain names. The most powerful backlink you can get, look at the competition and see what they're getting in your niche. There's different powerful websites in different niches and not necessarily .gov websites. I think there's a lot of press publications that are probably a lot more powerful than .gov backlinks, CNN and things like that, the New York Times and stuff like that. So BBC over in the UK, these are ones that probably carry a lot of weight, and the ones that are the most difficult to get are the ones that tend to be the most powerful ones, and something you maybe have to work or be a bit creative to get. Those are the ones you want to be getting. But .gov, I would take or leave them. I'm not overly fussed on them. I'd take them. Don't get me wrong, I'd take them, but I wouldn't be obsessed with them.
And then how many .govs can you get that contain your target keyword or a partial or? There's not many that you can pull off. So they can't be the best. No. I like EDUs, I like .govs, but that's just one piece.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Chris, question for you from Radhakrishna. Yeah. Can you explain what Google NLP is and what does it have to do with SEO?
So natural language processing, what's it have to do with SEO? So they have like BERT and Smith, right? So how they understand the words within your content. The understanding is there's a lot of patents on it. If you go to SEO by the Sea, he talks about this quite extensively. Bill Slosky goes into this from the very beginning of retrieval to the indexation. All of that it has to understand it before it can be indexed and classified and then ranked. So NLP plays a massive part in SEO because it's the understanding of the actual document, right? So that's pretty much it. It plays a massive part because that's how they understand the content. They have to understand it before they can rank it. Yeah.
And that's only, as Google's brain, so to speak, is learning all the time and understanding words better and being able to join them together. This is only become, it's only going to become even more important as the years go. So, yeah. Do dig deep, but Bill Slosky is your man to look at if you want the kind of technical patent kind of explanation of it. But NLP is here, and Google have a much better understanding,
and it's raising a lot of heck.
Yeah,
so, they're understanding. It's making things a lot more fun for sure.
Yeah. We have to adapt to that part of the job. We just got to tweak stuff and use semantically related keywords rather than spamming the shit out of things all the time. And, we've got tools and everything to help us do that and understand what Google is looking for as well. So, you've got your phrases and stuff for SEO and everything else to help with parts of that as well. And Page Optimizer Pro. And Ryan Durrani has done the no index approach. He's no indexed them because the robots.txt blocker doesn't stop them from being linked to.
Right.
And then pushed back into the index. Fair enough. Success. Let's say I want to rank a website for multiple cities across the US. Would you advise creating separate pages for each city and then optimize them for both on and off page? What is a good approach for this?
All right, so these long ones are always fun. So let's say you want to rank in multiple cities across the United States. Would you advise creating separate pages for each city and then optimizing them both on and off page? What's a good approach? So if you want to rank for multiple cities, then you have to have the page for those cities. I would create multiple location-based landing pages for each of those cities that I want to rank for. Aside from that, would I want to optimize on-page and off-page? Definitely. I think it's part of the process. The same thing that you're doing on your homepage or your top-level pages, you're going to need to do these if you want to win these terms. So the answer is yes to all the above, for sure.
Cool. Hopefully that helps you. Success is asking Paul Hogden, what type of backlinks are you buying exactly? Who said Paul buys? But All-Purpose Work is asking about the best backlink indexing tool, omegaindexer.com. Chris, any others that you know of?
I think that Omega's pretty good. They're as good as anything else. I think they're probably top shelf in the marketplace, I think. So run with that. Mr. Mike Pierce is here. Google SMT, baby. Good to see you, Mike. And Holly Starks is asking, I love Holly's questions. What is the easiest way to get trust flow on scale? To be able to build, is this a trick? I would think increasing trust flow at scale would be building the highest quality relevant links at scale. So I'm sure maybe you'll have some fun better explanation, but that's how I would take it.
Yeah, the problem is when Holly asks a question, it could be a trick, it could be a threat, it could be anything. When I say threat, I'm only kidding, by the way. But I'm going to go for use Holly's network, news network. Hopefully that's the right answer. But Chase Zeminak. And Chris, this is for you. An aspiring freelancer in Lee Valley. How do you recommend I start finding clients? I'm planning on starting on Fiverr, but having some client retainers would also be nice.
How do you recommend I first start finding clients? Well, are you advertising at all? Running advertising will generate clients for you, especially if you're able to perform work at a fair rate. I do think that all the other marketplaces work very, very well, at least for getting your foot in the door to initiate some, because they're getting all the traffic. It's a nice way to start getting some, get some flow going. So I like your approach to some of the platforms. I would also run some ads, run some lead ads on Facebook. I guarantee you'll get some clients. Yeah. And then all the other little tactics, answering questions and helping people. This could all lead to good reciprocity and lead to a client. So hopefully that helps you.
Cool. Myself, Mike, and Brad, I think, answered that question yesterday. So, Chase, hopefully you've got good answers from everyone now. So, Holly Starks is saying, Chris and I want to have an hour session of Argue with Holly. I'm assuming this is going to be at in Greensboro. Whoever wins has to shave their head. Of course, I won't lose, but But then shaving your head's not that drastic for you, Chris.
No, I was thinking it's fair.
Holly, listen,
that bad.
We need to discuss. There needs to be something more scathing to Chris. We can't just have him shaving his head, man. That's shit. We have to have something else. Whatever that may be. But yeah. So, Mike Pierce, thank you very much for the 66.06. I'm getting freaked out here, man. Like, what the fuck? This is like voodoo shit here. But, like 666, he's just donated. We appreciate any donation, though, Mike. So, appreciate it. But why is Google so fastest? Any answers to that, Chris?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. No, I do not. I don't have anything to say on that. No, no, nothing. No opinion.
No opinion. Yeah, better sit in the fence with that. Chase Zeminak. How do you organize your day as SEOs? Do you do your content in the morning, link building a certain amount per day, social media, pay-per-click management, etc.? How do you do it, Chris? Like, for me, I'll give you my answer first, Chase. A lot of this stuff's delegated out, so content will be given to the content writer. Link building, I will reach out to some people, buy some stuff up. I've got my team who also do outreach. They do that. So all of the grunt work's all done by someone else, including my social media and stuff like that. So a lot of the grunt work as an SEO is dished out. I like, as an SEO, I like link building. I like trying and testing things. I like new tools. I like to try and automate stuff. Networking and all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff's really important to me. Writing content's not. Doing on-page SEO is not important to me. Anyone can do that stuff, but it's tedious and time-consuming. So all of that kind of stuff, the people will just follow the process. And I think the art of this whole game is delegation and getting rid of the kind of grunt work. I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to work 7 days a week. I've been there, I've done it, and suffered for it. So anything I can automate, delegate, and build a process for is exactly what I do. And there's guys out there. I remember I was in Poland a few years ago, Chris, and a guy said to me, Craig, I want to talk to you. So we sat in this room and we were talking back and forth about a few tricks and all that. And he said, Craig, don't tell me anything I can't automate. I'm not fucking interested. only show me the tricks where I can automate shit. I'm not doing anything else. I ain't doing fucking physical work. But these guys are monsters. But in terms of you, Chris, because, you know, I know you're maybe slightly different and you're a bit, you know, like the Rain Man. I'm going to make a wild guess and say that you do some of your own work. Am I right? You don't delegate everything out, do you? Mm-mm. So what does your day look like?
So, I mean, a lot of I think a lot of it is much like you said. I'm more of a project manager. You know, some of the pieces that I'll do on a daily basis, it's usually wake up, scan social media for inbound leads, go through my emails. The next step is, depending on whatever the client is, it's like whatever's left in the list of tasks that I need to do. Like, okay, if I need to go and get links, or maybe I need a press release, or maybe I need to scrape something to create a release, maybe citation spinning. Like, sometimes I'll do custom schema. Anything that I can't outsource, I'll do myself. Like if it's something special, but usually that's pretty much the day. It's just going through a task list for whatever the main client is at the time. And then very small steps on a large site, which I have a partner on, so I don't have to do a lot there. But that's pretty much it. It's more of project management than it is me literally doing it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much my day, you know.
Work smart. We're not here to do 14, 15 hour shifts. Fuck that shit. Been there, done all that. But Holly, Mike is making a threat there. He's challenging you to a thumb wrestle. Maybe that can be the big fight. But another question for you, Chris, from BK SEO.
Sure.
Last week you were talking about finding the verification service in Expect Element. Now, he's not US based and is not able to find it. Is that the reason? Is this an American thing?
I never looked. I don't know. I never looked. I mean, I'm in the United States. It's just one file. It's just a service. It's a service within when you're filling out. I showed it inside of a video not too long ago. I would assume that it's the same. I can't see how it would be different. I don't know. I don't think it would be different, but if you're not finding it, I don't see how it could be different. I don't know. Maybe 3 videos ago. Let me just take a look something quick here. I'll mention it as we take in the next question here, but let me see where I went right through it. Let me see here. I think I see I trimmed it off here. Let me see, take a look here. So yeah, it's like black Google My Business optimization tutorial towards the end of the video when I'm just talking, when we're just chatting, you'll find it in there.
Cool. Thank you very much for that.
Sure.
Mike Pierce is also suggesting that don't build links that need to be indexed. It's a good shout.
It's a good, yeah, good piece of info.
Trust flow is topical page rank math. And that is what it is. Build links. That is it. Randy Rode's talking about Holly's PR, and Randy is a PR guy. Yeah.
That's fun.
What is the best way to get trust flow without tanking a website? Like, fuck this. Robert is asking a question from me, but we'll also put it to Chris as well. If you were to do an SEO agency again, what would you do differently, and what would you focus particularly on? Maybe a few tips for customer acquisition. So, Robert, when I say I hate clients and I don't do client work and blah, 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 I actually do own 50% of an agency. So me personally, I don't like clients and I don't like the client model. However, I do own 50% of an agency, and anyone who does come to me are then funneled into that agency, which has my team trained and all that kind of stuff, and they do the work. Now, what would I again do differently? So what I did do differently was took myself out of the agency. Previously, when I had an agency, I'd built myself into the agency, and I was the most vital component in that agency, which was the height of stupidity. And it just stopped me from able to grow and scale. And I took myself out of this agency. So my business partner pretty much runs it. He does all the client stuff. He does all the reporting. He does all the finance stuff. I will come in, talk to my team, give them better processes, keep them up to date with tools, strategies, and everything else. But they are doing all the work. I can come in and out. I can go away for 2 months, and the agency will run as it does anyway. So taking myself away from it and being a business owner rather than being the guy doing all the donkey work in the agency is what I've done differently. I built processes and systems, which I didn't have previously, which basically nearly killed me. And I rely on my business partner and found someone I could trust. And I didn't have that before. And, everything was just kept to me. And I found that very difficult. And it's like Brad and Mike, and Chris, you've got a guy that helps you out in the background. Am I right?
Yes.
So not a lot of these guys are public. I know Mike and Brad kind of both are public facing to some degree, but behind any successful marketer, and I include Matt Diggity or anyone else here, there's always someone else behind the scenes that's taking some of the load there as well. People might think Matt Diggity does everything himself. He doesn't, and neither do I, neither does Chris, neither does anyone else with any kind of, ounce of business sense. So there is always a great team, and a lot of people often don't see that there's a great team underlying, and it allows us the time to do the videos and put ourselves out there, which is what my tips would be for customer acquisition, because without putting your face out there, it's very, very hard to get your name out there. With millions of people doing SEO, why would someone come to me? Because I hopefully offer value out there and people can see that I know what I'm talking about. And for me, that's the best way to sell yourself, is putting yourself out there. And Chris, again, I'm going to ask you this. Like, you previously weren't that public facing, but surely once you started doing the videos and all of this kind of stuff, you must have seen an increase in terms of customer acquisition. Am I right?
For sure. Absolutely. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to be able to showcase what I knew, how I could help. It most certainly helped me, for sure. Absolutely.
Because other than that, what are you doing? Relying on a sales guy, calling around and chance meetings and all that kind of stuff. I think you've got to give to receive, and demonstrate your knowledge out there, and that works massively for me. So I'm not suggesting, Robert, you might be completely against that and not want to talk in camera. But for me, in terms of tips for customer acquisition, you've got to look at online strategies. Gone are the days of cold calling and all that kind of stuff. All you're going to get is kind of low-end clients that don't stick around for long. You need to network. You need to get out and about. Even if you don't like publicly talking, get out to the events and network round about and demonstrate your knowledge and talk to people. That is where the money is made. But Chris, anything else you could add there?
No. Something early on. Don't be scared of spending money. I think that was a big one for me. And no matter what you try, it's not going to work at first, and know that going into it. But no, that's it. I think that I would have earlier jumped on the bandwagon of running lead acquisition advertising, messenger advertising, Gmail account advertising. Don't be afraid to blanket a town with postcards. Things like this. You got to get your face out there, my friend.
I'll tell you another one that's quite cool, actually. There's a guy in the UK called James Gregory. Super smart guy. What he done to do stuff is, rather than sending postcards out, he was sending little gifts, just random shit out. by mail. So it was like bulk mailing. And it was just something to capture the attention or the eye. And he tried a whole bunch of stuff. So again, it's just thinking outside the box and doing something that's different than, every day, people just doing emails, spam emails. No one reads that garbage. The minute I see it, delete, 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 delete. That's all I do. And I don't even read the emails. So thinking outside the box is maybe doing the gifts or something could be a way to get yourself in there as well. Just a thought. Saqueline, what is the future of SEO and affiliate website? Do you see it still going strong for a while yet, Chris?
Yeah, I think no matter what, definitely for a while, for sure. I don't see. I think it's still going to be the same for the most part. I don't see much of a difference in the next 10 years.
Cool. Roy Cohen, question for Chris. Do you think it's worth the risk building on an expired domain name? Do you do extensive testing before moving forward? It's worrisome putting a big investment at risk of an algo update. So is there a risk building on an expired domain first and foremost, Chris? And what are you doing to test that risk is not there for you?
Well, I really don't buy. Like, say I just got on a new client and he was in the range of he wanted to build his own little network as the buffer, right? So we initially set out to buy 10 separate domains, and it's looking like probably 6 of them are going to float. So what we do is we'll go out and buy them in the $100 to $200 range. They're auction domains that are relatively close, or at least top level category close, right? If it's a business site, it's in the business niche, right? We'll launch these sites out. We generally will build out. We try to get all the pages that have any type of equity, but we'll also build out some of the other pages. Like if instead of changing it just to contact, if they had a contact -us, we'll put contact -us. Like we'll build out some of the filler ones too. So that's pretty much the testing extent. We just want to see when we first initiate and launch this particular domain, when we put those pages up, does it take fast? So yeah, I don't really buy like super expired domains. I generally don't do that. I buy auction. I buy an auction domains, even if it was dead for a long time, but it's never been dropped per se. That's what we look for. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's what we do. That's what I do.
Yep, I think it's a sensible approach, Chris. Whether this next thing is sensible or not is a different story, though. Holly is suggesting that rather than shaving your heads, how about whoever wins has to get a tattoo of what the other person chooses?
Well, I would never mark my skin personally. Maybe not that. I wouldn't do that, but that's just because I'm I'm scared of tattoos. I can't do that.
Come up with something else. Come up with a few ideas, and we have to do something, man. Because I'll be watching there anyway. I will be there on camera, one way or another. I'll be there. But Chris, Paul Lovell makes a great point here. When I was talking about delegation and all that kind of stuff, he only does the stuff that he doesn't want to share the information or process on.
That's it.
Is that something you do? So there's a few secret sauces in your strategy, and you keep those to yourself and don't tell no one.
That's a massive part of it, is the trust factor. I mean, that's why, yeah, it's not that they're secret, but there are certain things. Like I have 2 VAs now, about to fire this one again. I don't let them know every single piece of it. Like to be able to take a client from beginning till end, I generally will have like, okay, you're doing this, you're doing this, you do this. So yes, but it's not about the secret. It's just, kind of, yes, in a way. Yes, I do. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, pretty much.
Mike Pierce also, just for Roy, you need to know what you're buying, but I would suggest drop catching as well. But expired works well if you make sure you're not buying some thing that's full of porn or whatever. But Chris Come on, Holly says. Come on, sort yourself out.
I'm not a tattoo guy.
Randy Roday is not going to Greensboro. Randy, you're missing out on a massive opportunity. Get yourself along there, man, if you can.
I'm going. I'm
another
excited.
Question from All Purpose Work. Hey, I've been trying to rank a keyword for the past 3 months. Should I keep trying or leave it and focus on some other? I'm currently on 3rd page for that one. Would you give up, Chris? What if you're struggling? In this example, it's been 3 months. You're not getting past page 3. Do you just give up and try something else, or do you keep persevering?
I mean, if you truly have done everything, page 3, you've got a lot of the pieces. You're probably almost there. And then 2, sometimes Google just likes certain pages. It depends on what it is. If it's something that, if you're doing it, you probably want it, right? So if you've already started, I personally don't give up. Now, if it gets to be too much coin going out and nothing's coming back 3 months, I'd probably still keep rocking. There's probably a lot of steps that you're probably not doing. Page 3 sounds like authority to me. How many other pages do you have? Does the top guy have 400 pages on his site? Like, how many do you have? You know, this sounds like an authority thing to me. Page 3 sounds like the on page is probably on point, but you're just missing some authority pieces. So yeah, I wouldn't give up. No, don't do that. You're already 3 months in. You're pot committed, dude.
All Purpose Work is talking about asking another question. Sorry. If a domain expired today, how long will it take to come up in an auction? And is there any way to get it earlier? So it won't come up in an auction.
Not yet.
When a domain expires, it's certainly in the UK. There's different things for different types of domain names, but with the .co.uk's in particular, they go into a suspended state, and I think it's 60 days that the person that had the domain can go back within that 60 days and just renew it. So it goes into suspended mode for 60 days, and then it will drop out and it'll be freely available for someone to grab. But it doesn't go to auction. An auction domain is a domain that someone wants to sell and they want money for it. It's not expired. They're not the same thing. So can you get a domain name earlier? If it has expired, you can use something like settle.com, and you can just reach out, get them, hire a broker, just reach out to the guy and just say, or go to who is and try and find his details. And simply ask him, listen, that's expired. What if I give you $50 for it or whatever? And you can offer that. However, what they might do is then hold you to ransom, renew it, and then try and hold out for more money. So I'm not sure the reaching out is the wisest of moves, but you could potentially do that. But Chris, what would you do in that instance?
So he's asking, domains expired today. How long will it take to come? Well, it's going to take time, 60 days, usually 90 days, because the registrar like GoDaddy or whatnot's going to hold it because they have a registration period. They can re-sign it up. So I'm sorry. I was reading the comments, to be honest with you. I was looking for that video for that dude. There's no way to get it earlier. So I don't know. It's going to be time. It's at least 60 days, 90 days before it's going to hit the market block. So there's no way that I know of to get it faster. But what I would do is I would go on and like check like some of these other places like After Nick, and there's a magnitude of different places that you can go check. Usually these people will listing it. If it's listed, or if it's a private seller, they'll list it more than one place. That's a little trick that I've learned along the way. Go and check multiple areas. But these auctions or expired ones, you got to wait.
Yeah. BKSEO is struggling to find your video. He's saying all your videos have the same name.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. I only talk about a few things. I mean, it's black and green. You can't. Here's what I'll do, because I think it'll be fun. I'll make a video pointing that out. My next one will contain that. How about that? But it's inside of a black and green, and it's called Google My Business Optimization SEO Tutorial. And that was on August the 21st. And it's towards the end, like an hour 19, somewhere in that range.
Cool. So hopefully that helps you.
Yeah. But I'll include it in my next video for sure.
Appreciate that, Chris. But guys, we are out of time for today. It's been a great session, lots of good questions and slightly different questions as well, which is good for us. But yeah, make sure you do give us a like on this video. Make sure the trolls don't win. Also check out Chris's channel. Also check out Holly Starch, who's doing an AMA after this, so go and check her out, and check out Mike Pierce. Well, you see Mike every Tuesday anyway, but they guys are back on tomorrow at nfgseo.com/7. Check them out, and thank you everyone for coming on today. We appreciate it, and we will catch you same time next week.
See you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you all. Goodbye.